Something strange happened on the night of October 13th. People walking through the busy streets of Fujian suddenly stopped, phones lifted, eyes wide open, because right in front of them, an entire skyscraper lit up with one name: Jimin. For 15 breathtaking minutes, the 118-meter screen of the International Financial Center, one of the tallest landmarks in the city, came alive with Jimin's smile, his voice, his story. The skyline shimmered in gold and violet, as if the city itself was celebrating his 30th birthday. And it wasn't just one building. 7 locations across Shenzhen were illuminated, from the commercial heart of Nanshan to the lively streets of Putin City. Videos of Jimin played more than 60 times an hour, 15 seconds each, until even the night air seemed filled with warmth. Cars slowed, pedestrians stopped mid-step. Even people who didn't know BTS couldn't help but stare. Some said it looked like the Northern Lights had come to China, only this time shaped like a man whose kindness transcends distance. The visionaries behind the light. Behind this extraordinary moment was a fan base that has redefined what love looks like. Jimin Bar China. They've always done the impossible. Do you remember the airplane wrapped in Jimin's image flying across continents? Or the snowy October 13th project in Gangnam, when fans literally created winter to celebrate him? The Jimin theme park in Myeongdong? The 34 building screens in Hangzhou? The world's first idol billboard inside Dubai Mall? Each project more breathtaking than the last. Not for attention, but for devotion. For them, Jimin isn't just an idol. He's someone whose heart inspires theirs. So this year, they wanted to create something that could be seen from the sky. And they did. As the skyscraper lights rippled across Shenzhen, fans below cried, shouted, sang his songs in unison. For a moment, the streets became a living love letter, 118 meters tall and bright enough to touch the stars. Then came the numbers. While Shenzhen glowed, another kind of light was rising, this time in data. Just days later, the Korea Enterprise Reputation Research Institute released its October 2025 brand reputation rankings. And at the very top stood Jimin. Out of 144 million pieces of analyzed data, measuring media exposure, community buzz, fan communication, and consumer engagement, Jimin didn't just win, he soared. His brand reputation index reached an astounding 8,230/450, a 48.65% jump from the previous month. While others inched up by small margins, Jimin's presence exploded across platforms, languages, and generations. Analysts noted that the 3 most common words linked to him were affectionate, warm, congratulatory. His positivity rate? 93.71%. Nearly every article, post, or comment carried love. The why behind the wonder. Why, after all these years, does Jimin's name still feel different? Because he doesn't just appear in headlines, he appears in hearts. Whether walking the runway at Paris Fashion Week, performing on stage, or quietly thanking fans, he radiates something that can't be manufactured: sincerity. Fans don't just admire him, they feel him. The humility in his tone, the honesty in his emotions, the way he always thanks others before himself. That's why celebrations like Shenzhen's aren't just birthday ads. They're reflections of what he's given: warmth, comfort, light. Even in statistical data, cold, mathematical, and personal, his warmth shines through. Every number whispers the same truth. Jimin connects. From Busan to the world, imagine it. A boy who once dreamed of dancing in Busan now has cities lighting up for him. From Paris to Seoul, Dubai to Shenzhen, no borders, no boundaries, just light. His fans build landmarks in his honor. His name trends across continents. And yet he remains soft-spoken, humble, gentle. That's why the world celebrates him, not as a star, but as someone who makes people believe in kindness again. The light that stayed at 10 p.m., the skyscraper faded to black. The city grew quiet again. But for those who stood there with tears in their eyes, the light hadn't disappeared. It had simply moved. Moved into their hearts. Moved into the millions of memories connected by one name: Park Jimin. Because Jimin doesn't just shine on the screen, he shines through people. And that's why, no matter how many years pass, the world will keep turning its eyes toward him. Not because he asks for attention, but because the world can't look away.